Antes de Cristo, mi vida era un desastre. Before Christ, my life was a disaster. It was a life marked by chasing idols. Right around middle school, I met a certain young lady, and I fell in love with her. And she became an idol for me. I thought that with her, I would have a happy life, that she would change everything. But because she was a good girl, she had enough sense to let me go. When you lose an idol, it feels like you're getting a piece of you just ripped out of you. But it led to a lot of drinking, drugs, chasing women, all things that I thought would make me happy. Idols in themselves that I thought would add to my life. But Christ changed all of that. Drastically, may I add. It wasn't an overnight thing though. He had a lot of work to do with me and in me. I was going through this phase where I was a believer. I was just a Christian struggling in my discipleship, in my walk with the Lord. I was far from God. I prayed to Him, confessing that I knew that I was far from Him, that I knew that my heart didn't desire Him as it should. And in that prayer, I told Him, I said, Lord, I'm far from you. I'm far from you. And I can't live like this. It was just like one of them sincere prayers. You know them prayers where you're just bawling, snot coming out your nose. You're just, sobbing, and it's deep, But by God's grace, I've been freed from bondage to idols. I've been freed from alcoholism. I've been freed from drugs. I've been freed from idolatry of romantic love, if you will. The beautiful part about the story, I think, for me is I have God. And in Him, I have all that I could ever want and need. Any needs that I had that I thought could only be supplied by these idols, He fills and then some. One of the beautiful things about my story is that this young lady that at one point was an idol for me, that later on the Lord turned my heart to Him. I turned my heart away from her because she wasn't walking with Him. But not only did God change my story and my life, He changed her story and her life, brought her to Himself, and has now brought us together. We're now married and have a beautiful baby daughter, and Lord willing, a couple more little children to come. And He's made a beautiful story out of my life and hers. That's a part of the grander story. That's Him doing the same thing that He's done to my life, but to the whole world. Redeeming my story and redeeming the story of the whole world, humanity, all of His creation. God's a story changer.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.